Hey Trey.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Everything's going pretty well, man.
Awesome, awesome. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready whenever you are.
Okay, cool, cool. Give me one sec and I'll do my little intro thing.
Of course.
All right. Uh, Trae Romano on the Fishbowl. Welcome.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking the time to swim in the bowl with me. I hope the temperature is just right.
Of course, yes. It is very warm, much like bath water.
I hope just not too soapy though, right?
I don't think so, and not yet at least.
All right, all right, all right. Enough of that. um, First of all, thank you for coming on the show and chatting with me. Um, my first question that I had for you was what got you interested in film?
Well, my ex- I think it's probably my parents. They exposed me to a lot of great films and filmmakers, and a lot of great TV. I One of my favorite movies back from when I was young is my grandfather loved Wes Anderson, so he showed me the Royal Tenenbaums and Moonrise Kingdom, um, and I was like, this is just great. I love Bill Murray and all of his actors that he usually uses, like Jason Schwartzman and Adrian Brody, and that's I would think that's probably some of like the major stuff, and also like directors like Alexander Payne and Sofia Coppola with Lost in Translation and Alexander Payne's The Descendants. I think just really good films got me into acting and exposed me to it. But I think it really all did start when I was on set of my family friend. He was in a AD for the Farrelly Brothers, and they were filming in Atlanta. And I went on set, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. Just see the camaraderie between the actors and the all of the crew and set. It was just really cool. But yeah, I definitely think that films like the ones I listed, and also just being exposed to it at a young age, was probably what got me into it.
Very cool, very cool. It's actually like a segue question that I had for you about your experience on the Three Stooges set. I was wondering if you had any like specific memories or stories that were like important to you, or about the cast or anything that.
Oh,
Um,
during the Three Stooges?
yeah.
Yeah, I think the coolest thing was I met Jane Lynch and I played Angry Birds on her phone. That was pretty cool. And I met Larry David before I knew who he even was. It was a long, long time ago. It was probably like when I was like 5 or 6. But um, yeah, it was just really cool knowing that my family friend and everyone worked with those guys, and it was really cool. So I think, yeah, I think Larry David and Jane Lynch is probably the highlight.
Very cool. Very very cool. Um, my next question for you is what was your experience like on Robbie working opposite with Bo Bridges?
Well, Bo is just such a cool guy. He's just so laid back, like old surfer dude type, and he I think without even saying anything, he really taught me a lot, just because this simplicity of his acting and his delivery, and just straight up being so invested in the scene. I think, yeah, definitely Bo. Working with Bo was one of my highlights, because like I said, I did learn a lot from him, even though I was only in like 1 or 2 episodes. But uh, yeah, I just think the whole set of Robbie was very family oriented almost. It was like they were just having a good time filming this thing. I was lucky to be a part of it. Rory Scovel is comedic genius. He's hysterical. I loved his stand up like forever, because I saw him on Conan like a few years ago, right? And I was like, this guy's funny as hell. So yeah, I was just glad to be a part of it. The cast is funny as hell, and I watched all of it on YouTube. So yeah, it was just the whole experience is really special.
Very cool. Were you familiar with any of like Bo's prior movies, or
Yeah.
you know, Jeff Bridges as well? You know, his brother.
Yeah, so I was just talking about The Descendants. My favorite movie with Beau Bridges was The Descendants when he played the cousin of George Clooney in that movie. I just think that's like so accurate to how he is in real life. Like he's very very much laid back and like that guy. But yeah, I definitely knew of Beau before I started filming, and I definitely um, it was really interesting because my mom told me, like, I got it, and I was like, Beau Bridges, really? That's just like that's crazy. Like Beau Bridges is big. So yeah, I did know of Beau before I started, and
Very
Rory.
cool. So who are some of your like favorite current actors, just like in general?
Some of my favorite current actors. Damn. Um, some of my favorite current actors and filmmakers. All right, Taika Waititi is great. He's a great actor, great filmmaker. Let's see who else. Taika Waititi, and I love Liam Hemsworth and Chris Evans and everything. I think they do a great job, and I want to see more of them like outside of the MCU. And Jamie Foxx and Michael B. Jordan from Just Mercy. I mean, like I always knew of them before, but like once I saw that performance, I was just like they became some of my favorites after that. Like Scarlett Johansson's always great. She like really brought it to um, Jojo Rabbit, and also like Sam Rockwell in that movie was just insane. There's so many great actors. I think like this year, those were the people that really impressed me a lot and like really stood out to me. And also, of course, like Joaquin Phoenix, of course, he's a legend. So I think those are probably my biggest influences, and biggest influences, and also like probably some of my favorite actors. And of course, Luke Wilson is great. But yeah, I think those are probably my top picks, man. I love those guys. They're just great.
Very cool. Through the ones that you just mentioned, Sam Rockwell happens to be one of my personal like all time favorite current actors.
Yeah,
Um,
no, him and the Three Billboards was insane. Him and Richard Jewell was great. Him, for some reason, he pulled off that gay Nazi character in Jojo Rabbit so well. I was like, damn, I was like, this is crazy. He's just such a, for some reason, like, but outside of all of his other roles, I think that's probably my favorite because that character had so much depth at the
right.
same time as like being like this goofy, flamboyant character. Uh, that was a really great role. That he's just so lucky that he got to play that role. It's just an amazingly written role by Taika.
I honestly think there's a lot of actors out there that are great and do their craft amazingly. I just think Rockwell, and like every single scene that you see him in, and like whatever he does, he's in the moment in every single scene, and I think
Yeah.
that's what kind of makes him unique. And one of my all time favorite roles with him, which is kind of showing my age a little bit, is actually Galaxy Quest. Um,
I've never actually watched it, but I've heard of it.
I highly recommend you check that out. He is absolutely hysterical in it. You have it's a great cast. It's like a homage to Star Trek. Basically, it's like a spoof on Star Trek.
Like
And
Spaceballs, like the Star Wars. Yeah.
yeah, and but essentially, like the plot, to sum it up in a nutshell, is like these actors that were on what was like a Star Trek s show that got canceled like 20 years ago or something, or doing like these conventions, and the show was sent out on like a radio signal through space, and these
Oh my god.
aliens picked up the signal and saw the show, but these aliens are like highly intelligent but totally like naive to the fact of like entertainment. So they think that these actors are actually like the people in the show. So these aliens essentially like kidnap these actors to help them negotiate against these bad guy aliens, and it kind of goes from there.
That is a very out there script. Good lord, yeah.
A lot of what's his name? He's the star of Barry. Um,
Bill Hader.
yeah, Bill Hader. He plays one of the aliens in it. You have Tony Shalhoub, Sigourney Weaver, Tim Allen. Um,
Tim Allen, dude, that's a great cast.
yeah, a lot of stars, and Sam Rockwell's character is like just he basically plays like a guy who's like hosting the convention, who was like an extra on the show, and he basically just kind of gets uninvitingly tags along to their mission, and ends up like helping them out along the way.
I could
And
see Sam playing that character.
he's just like a complete like he's like freaked out the whole time, because he keeps thinking, because like the way I guess the scenarios of like the Star Trek shows would work, it's like you would have the way the show would open is like you would have them go on a mission, and then every single opening you'd lose like one of the crew, and you'd have one actor that is in like the opening scene, who's like, gets knocked off, and like then they go to the main, plot of the show.
Yeah, they have
And
to like save him. Yeah,
yeah, that was like essentially his character. So he's like freaked out he's gonna die like the whole time.
because he thinks that's his fate. Yeah,
Right.
no, that's actually kind of funny. I'm gonna have to check that out.
It's very very funny, and Alan Rickman was also in it. The late great Alan Rickman. Um, very very funny movie.
Sounds very funny. Yeah.
But on Luke Wilson, let's talk about Stargirl.
Yeah.
What?
So.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. So pretty much Stargirl is pretty much just about Courtney Whitmore, who lives in LA with her mother, and she never really knew her father. And she moves to New Valley, Nebraska with her new stepfather and step brother, I guess, to Blue Valley. And in Blue Valley, there's some shady stuff going down, and there's like some supervillains in the Injustice Society, and she finds out that her father might have been a superhero, and her stepfather might be his sidekick, and it just kind of unravels from there, and it's a really cool plot and show because there's a lot of different aspects. There's like the superhero element, and then there's also the family element with the with the family dinners and school and stuff like that. So it kind of all ties in together. It's kind of like a comedy drama, very grounded, almost shot like a movie. Just great actors, great cast. So it's just a well-rounded show that I think everyone needs right now.
Very cool. What was your overall experience on set and working with everyone?
Working with everyone was great because they were all such veterans, like Luke and Amy and stuff like that. And Jeff has done so many projects, and he really made everything feel very homey and warm and grounded and everything like that. So it was just such an overall great experience. I built so many great friendships. Like with Luke, we went we go out to dinner, lunch and stuff like that. We really have a great bond off screen, so we can build the on screen bond more. Like sometimes we wrote scenes and stuff, and I read some of the scripts that he was writing, blah blah blah. It just we all had a very great connection. Like Amy was like very mother like to me. She always gave me great advice, great all sorts of stuff, and everyone just really had a lot of respect for each other, and we kind of built on that respect, I'd say. And like with Breck, she's just such an insane actress. I mean, with all the stuff that she was doing in the beginning of the series and all throughout the series, she's one of the hardest working people that I know, like ever. She was probably working on like 3 hours of sleep, And she kept trucking, and everyone loved it. The cast and crew were always upbeat and nice, and it was just a flawless set, and you don't hear that very often, you know. It was just so great, and Jeff was such a nice guy, and everyone just had a good time filming their scenes. You know, there's a lot of scenes like with family, like family scenes and stuff like that, where they don't even like want to be with each other, like during like rehearsal and stuff like that. Like we'd go out of our way to catch dinner together and, you know, like go see movies and stuff. Um, it's just really really great because we built off each other, and I think our characters show that throughout the season. Throughout the season, our arcs change, and I think we all really had a better understanding, got better as actors. So it was a very special.
Very cool. Very cool. Is there any chance of season 2 being greenlit already?
I don't know, man. The ratings look great. The people are loving it. Episode 1 and 2 had great viewer count, I guess you would call it. So, I mean, I hope theoretically, it should look like it's going in the right direction, but who knows at this point, you know? Anything could happen. And now with this virus and everything, that even if we did film a second season, we'd probably be a long way down the road. But, you know, I hope. Fingers crossed, you know?
Right,
We'll
right.
probably know in the next week, 2, 3, I don't know. We'll probably know in the next few weeks what it looks like. But right now, everything's really looking good.
Awesome, awesome. I will definitely have my fingers crossed for you. I am definitely a fan of the show. Um, now, are you like into comic books?
Well, in the comic books, yeah, Mike comes in like I'm pretty sure like the 4th comic or something. He's just like a ball busting, like, you know, got sent to military school because no one wanted him around. You know, his father sent him to military school. You know, he was just a pain in the butt. You know, so he kind of comes back around in the 4th comic, and he sees his new stepsister and sees what she gets, like the cosmic staff, or I think it was the cosmic belt maybe in like in the original comics, but like the cosmic staff, the cosmic belt, I forgot which one, but she gets the cosmic something, and you know Mike is just very upset, and you know he doesn't know about this new family, and yeah, he is in the comics, but I think Jeff really took a lot of liberty in the show. I mean, of course he can because he wrote both the comics and the show, but yeah, I think they built on Mike a lot more in the series. In the first few episodes, Mike is just kind of the same as he is in the comics, really. And later on in the season, he has a really great arc and a really great storyline, you know. So that's
Awesome, awesome. So, in terms of like comic book movies, are you more of a Marvel guy, or are you more of a DC guy, or are you like a neutral?
I'm neutral, man. Yeah, I mean you gotta be neutral, but I think I got more introduced to superheroes with the MCU, with like, you know, Black Widow, Iron Man, blah 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 blah. And you know, I always went to see all the Avengers movies with my cousins and everything like that. And you know, the DC stuff that my favorite superhero movie of all time is Dark Knight. The original Batman, clearly. And I loved like Heath Ledger, and everyone in that movie was just great. And I think that all the sequels to Batman were awesome. And I think once the Joker came out too, I think I was like, okay, DC is legit. You know, like DC is like the real deal. And I think right now they're both on par with each other, if that makes any sense. Like I don't think anyone's really leading the game right now. I think Endgame was a great movie. It probably could have been 30 minutes shorter if they wanted it to be, but you know, I just think a real superhero fan doesn't have a favorite faction. I'd say. I think if you're a superhero fan, you're a superhero fan, and you know, it's not as much of like a Star Wars, Star Trek thing. It's really just like if you're involved with the fandom or not.
I definitely agree with you there.
Yeah.
Um, Absolutely. Um, my next question for you is, you also play guitar, right?
Yes, yes, I do.
Okay, so what type of genre would you say you play?
I'd
Or
probably say funk, blues. I don't really like. I'm not like a shredder, you know. Like if I'm ever in like Guitar Center or anything, I never go like humbucker or anything. I usually just go single, 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 and I just try to get that funky, coily sound. I got a Mexican Strat right now, and it has the most warm, just like fuzzy, funky tone. It's just the best. That's what I do because like I never really actually learned how to play guitar. Like I know how to play bar chords and blah blah blah, blah, but I just learned from like noodling. So I learned like the pentatonic scale and all the scales and everything like that. But like literally what I usually do is I play a chord like and like I kind of play that and I kind of do some like funky stuff with it and I try to like switch it around and like play rhythm at the same time with playing lead. I think that's the most fun thing to do, like, cause I never really play with anyone else. I always just play with myself. Like, I usually just play like by myself and there's no one, like no rhythm, no bass, no nothing. So I just try to train myself to play rhythm and lead at the same time. And I realize that it's like a very Jimi Hendrix or like, Stevie Ray Vaughan thing to do. And that's when I started solely focusing on funk. I was like, oh, I can do this well, so let's actually look into this. So, yeah, I usually just play funk, blues, and that's pretty much it.
so who are some of, I guess, your like musical influences and also some of your like favorite bands?
I'd probably say Fleetwood Mac because their guitar riffs are just so difficult. I can't even play their guitar riffs, man. But like they sound like multiple guitars, but like they're just one. It's just really. I love Fleetwood Mac, Rush. Uh, let's see, Jimi Hendrix. Let's see, I love the Kinks, the Beatles, blah, blah, all the, all the greats. But I usually listen to music that I don't play, if that makes any sense. So, like I kind of just play my own stuff. But Jimi Hendrix, I definitely have a lot of influences from, but that's definitely not like the only person I listen to. I listen to rap, I listen to like classic rock, I listen to everything. So it really varies.
Very cool. Have you ever got into uh, the second Jimi Hendrix band of Gypsies?
No, I have not. I have not.
Okay, if you're into funk, I recommend checking them out. Um,
Oh, I'm very. I have heard of them before, but I've never checked them out, so I actually have to now.
Basically, the Jimi Hendrix experience broke up, and he put an all black band together called the Band of Gypsies, and the drummer, his name was Buddy Miles, and he also sings on the track and on some of the tracks, and it's a three piece set band, and the music that they created was definitely more on like the funky
Side.
like rock side than what Jimi Hendrix, like the experience was. And they only did live performances because I forget exactly what happened, but they essentially broke up. Um, and then Hendrix reformed the experience with the bassist from Band of Gypsies and Mitch Mitchell back on drums. And
Mm.
then he passed away soon after that. Um, but Band of Gypsies, the main song I'm going to tell you to check out first is called Machine Gun, and it's like a almost 13-minute song, and Hendrix basically um, performs essentially a battle on his guitar. And it's definitely a shredding, song, but you can also hear like the funky, chord riffs in it. And I think they have like one or two, maybe three albums that you can look for. One of them is at the Fillmore East. Jimi Hendrix live at the Fillmore East is him with Band of Gypsies, and that whole album is like really, really has a lot of like funk and soul, like psychedelic like rock music on it.
That's
Um,
great. No, yeah, because I'm always kind of looking for some more funk. Clearly, but yeah, that's because I actually just looked them up on Spotify. I just found the song, so I'm gonna like it so I can listen to it later. Actually, yeah.
and then the other band I'm gonna tell you to listen to because they're probably like the the probably the most like iconic funk band out there if you're not already a fan. That's the Parliament Funkadelic.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say that.
I've had the pleasure of seeing that band perform like
Live.
7 or 8 times live.
Oh, good for you. I don't even. I You know what? I've never been a huge fan of live concerts or like comedy shows or anything like that for some reason. I don't know why. I've just never been like I've never been huge on that. I don't like the sea of humanity just like around me. If that makes any sense. And clearly with like the pandemic and everything, it's probably
Right.
not the smooth either. But yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah. Really crazy shows.
I bet. No,
um,
seriously.
but like if I have to say for like all like the classic rock bands that are like in their what like mid 70s now, and they're basically like still touring and charging like insane prices to like go see them
Yeah.
when like you wouldn't even you paid less money to see them in their prime than what you're seeing to basically see them put.
It's a watered down version now as
Right,
well.
right. And the Parliament Funkadelic, um, like charged essentially like they played a normal venue, and they charged like regular prices for their tickets, and they played like they were in their prime.
Like sometimes once people have it, like you don't lose it. Like I saw
Right.
BB King playing with like I forgot who he was playing with, but he was playing live in like Louisiana, and I watched the video, and he's still got it, man. Like you can't fake that. Like he's a legend's always gonna be a legend. So like I completely agree.
Definitely, definitely. If you do get the chance, because I think he might be George Clinton might be getting ready to retire soon. But if once this
I mean, he's
pandemic
old.
thing,
How old is he now?
he's in his like 70s now,
Yeah, like late 60s, early 70s. Yeah, I guess.
early I think early mid 70s.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I hate that people have to. I hate that people have to break up their. They have to leave. That's really depressing.
I know. Chuck, what about Chuck Berry? Or no, Little
Sure.
Richard. Little Richard. I'm sorry.
Oh, Little Richard. You know what? I never really. Of course I know of Little Richard. I was never like huge on Little Richard. I don't think, but like I've definitely heard some of his songs, but I don't think I listened to him like as regularly as like other bands. Like.
Little Richard and Chuck Berry were the original rock and roll stars, and they're like that's back when it's pre classic rock, you know like that's like basically like 50s rock, which is like what allowed the whole like Jimi Hendrix and Cream and Eric Clapton and the Stones and like all those guys to
Yeah.
bring like the next wave of music. And for I always kind of say like In most cases, if you have one guy with a guitar, you essentially have a show, you know, and the rest is all like backup, you know. But Little Richard was, the guy on the piano that the rest of the band was backing him, and it was very interesting to see. I mean, he would put on a show with the piano like Hendrix would put on with the guitar, and Chuck Berry, of course, was the original one of the original great guitar masters. And I actually believe, on the topic of Hendrix, that Hendrix opened for Little Richard when he was coming up.
Wow. I should probably look into them more then.
Yeah.
I really have nothing to do in quarantine, so that's good.
It's great, it's short, like classic rock jams. Like the songs are like all between like 2.5 minutes to like 3.5 minutes long, and it's really just good, like quick, you know rock, just old fashioned rock and roll.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Awesome. So you're also into video games.
Yes.
What are some of your favorites?
Well, some of my all-time favorites are definitely like Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2. I'd probably say Black Ops 2. And this is an unpopular opinion, but I loved Ghosts. And GTA 5 is always insane. I've been playing that a lot lately just because there's nothing else to play. I've been playing a lot of Warzone actually too. Modern Warfare is surprisingly it's not a bad game, so I've been playing that lately. I've been playing Warzone and GTA 5 during quarantine, but my all-time favorites are definitely like MW2, Black Ops 2, and Ghosts. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, are you an Xbox guy, or are you a PlayStation? Xbox.
Yep. Xbox is the way to go.
That's where we're gonna have a difference of opinion.
Oh God.
The thing that did it for me, I haven't gone back since, was the controller for the first Xbox. It was too damn big.
But now
And
it's not as big, It's like it's nice. It's a good size. It's comfortable.
I could not figure out how to work that thing. I tried a couple different games on that one, and I just could never figure out the logistics of how that controller worked. And I think because of that, it's strayed me away from any further Xbox, usage.
Well, that's really a shame.
But c'est la vie. I mean, unfortunately, I really do not have as much time for video games as I would like. Like to show you, like the last game I was playing was the most recent Red Dead, and I still haven't finished that.
I know I didn't get Red Dead Redemption 2. The first one was great, but I don't know about the second one yet.
From what I played, it was pretty awesome. It's pretty good. I've always been a Rockstar fan.
Yeah, Rockstar is the way to go always.
Yeah, anything that company has put out, I have been a huge fan of. The other game that, I mean, it's old now, but it's also one of my all-time favorite movies, is like the Mad Max franchise. And I'm not sure if you got a chance to play the game.
But speaking of open world games though, Mafia 2 was such a great game. I forgot about that game.
That
But
was a
then
good game.
he brought back like a gameplay. And I was like, oh my god, Mafia 2. I forgot about this game. I used to play it on my Xbox 360. That was just like crazy. Yeah. But,
Have you played the third one yet?
no, I heard it sucks though.
Oh, I loved it.
Really?
I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
Oh,
I didn't get to play. They had like a downloadable content that was like an extra mission. That went with like the story if you bought like the game. Um,
uh,
but my friend let me borrow it, so I only played the like the actual like story mode. But I definitely recommend it. It was I thought it was fun.
huh. Well, now a lot of things to check out after this.
I mean, it delivered with the action and the shooting, and the gameplay. The issue for me with certain games is that if it's if for me to play like a video game, it needs to be like a third person, not first person, because unfortunately I'm like really like sensitive to like motion sickness, and the first person games just it's like hard for me. But I know like I miss out on a lot of games because of that. Um, but for me, I'm also like a huge Schwarzenegger nut. So I'm really like tempted to go buy that new Predator game.
Oh, I didn't even know there's a new Predator game out.
Yeah, and you can even there's even like a mode where you can play as Old Man Dutch.
Ah, I I don't know how I didn't hear about that, but did you hear that Tony Hawk was bringing back his skate games?
I did.
Mm-hmm. That is the way to go. I think my favorite skate game is Skate 3 actually. But yeah.
That's actually a good segue, because I was going to ask you. You also skateboard.
Yeah, I do. I don't skate as much anymore just because I actually don't even know why I stopped skating. Like I didn't stop skating. I don't skate just as much anymore. But I in Atlanta where I live, uh there's all these like I never really went to like a skate park. I never really went to skate parks or anything. I don't know why, but I just always skated on my skateboards. Always just like kind of skated quote unquote street, and like that's why I was like, okay, I gotta learn how to ollie, right? So I learned how to ollie, and like I could get up curbs finally, and then like then I was like, okay, now I need to learn a kickflip. Now for some reason I could not learn to pop shove it, but I could learn to kickflip, and it was just the craziest thing because like I am that's really kind of pseudo off topic, but like yeah, it was very strange, and I'm still very upset that I cannot pop shove it. So I have to learn how to do that, I guess. But yeah, I have I've not been skating recently because I just I haven't had anyone to skate with really, because usually when you skate with your friends, that's the best part of skating. But I haven't skated with my friends lately because we've all kind of been in lockdown in Atlanta. But now it's slowly reopening, we can kind of hang out again. So yeah, I'll probably get back into skating, but I just haven't skated in a long time.
Awesome, awesome. Um, well, I have two closer questions for you here. Um, the first one is, what are some of your favorite movies in general?
Mm.
And the other is, do you have any more upcoming projects to promote?
Ooh, okay, good, yeah, yeah. Well, I'll start with the movies one. Um, well, I think some of my favorite movies in general. Actually, you know what? I have a list. I'm gonna pull up my list. Hold on.
All right.
Yes, this is very important. Top favorite. There we go. Okay, so I have like I'm just gonna list off my top 10. So I all right. So Made by John Favreau. and Vince Vaughn. After they did Swingers. That's one of my favorite movies. It's just like, it's so simple. It's a simple story, great acting, great everything, and The Descendants, clearly with George Clooney, The Darjeeling Limited, A Bronx Tale, Her, Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, Boy by Taika Waititi. I think that's my favorite Taika movie. Rushmore, Lost in Translation, and Jojo Rabbit. Those are my top 10 favorite movies. It's kind of it's a wide array of genres, but yeah, those are my top 10, I'd say. And that's really those creators and those movies are definitely where I get my inspiration from. I love Jon Favreau's work. I love Sofia Coppola's work. And clearly, like, I never really knew about Taika Waititi up until like a few years ago when I watched Boy, and that really turned me on to his work, and I felt how it combined Wes Anderson's kind of very emotional but not emotional characters at the same time with a great story and really describing, like, New Zealand and all that. And I think Jojo Rabbit was just brilliant. I think Roman Griffin Davis did a great job. He's an incredible actor, and I just think he's just such a great guy. He seems like a great guy, and he just kind of compiles everything that I like in all my creators, and clearly, like, Wes Anderson is just great. Those inspire my writing as well, because I've been writing for probably just about as long as I've been acting, and I just those are probably my top 10 favorite movies and creators.
Awesome.
Yeah. And with upcoming projects, actually, which kind of sucked, was that right after we finished filming Stargirl, there was probably like a few months, and then the Corona thing started happening, and I was in the mix for like a few projects that were put on hold, clearly, for during the pandemic, and that kind of it kind of put a damper on my jobs, clearly, because nothing's really going on right now. But it was just the timing did not work out very well for me. But there's a few things that might be happening, but I don't know. We'll have to see what happens after this pandemic. Maybe Stargirl will get a season 2. You never know. And I just I'm trying to stay busy with my writing and everything. Because Luke, he always writes, and he was always like, you can't always rely on people to hire you. Sometimes you just got to write your own stuff. And I was like, that's very true. So, like, I started taking writing more seriously too, because I also want to be a filmmaker and creator and do the stuff that, I want to do, eventually. But, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And, it's kind of a shame that the projects right now are all put on hold, but, maybe in the next year, I think there might be some things.
Cool, very cool. Well, I will definitely have my fingers crossed for you. Best of luck. I'm hoping things definitely, pull through. I'm located here in Pittsburgh, and we literally just went to Green this past Friday. And I think California is going June 12th, was that it? I think production was supposed to start on
something like that. And like in Atlanta, it's like August something.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, but I there was this I was talking to my agent, and she was saying, like, a lot of these projects that I was in the mix for, and a lot of these things that these creators and these filmmakers in this spare time have been rewriting and writing so much that, like, all these new projects are starting to come in, which is, like, great, because the floodgates are going to be open creatively, like, after all this. There's going to be such an influx of content after this, 100%. So there's always a bright side at the end of the tunnel. But yeah, I think it's gonna be big. So
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Trey, thank you so much for taking the time to swim in the bowl with me. Again, I hope the temperature was just right.
Yes, yeah, it was, like I previously said, very bathwater-esque, yes.
Awesome. I hope we didn't get too soapy.
No, no, it didn't.
Awesome. Well, again, I love to have you on the show again anytime.
Great, yeah, thanks for having me, really.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right,
Awesome.
well,
Take
have a
care.
good time, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Bye.